Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and just wanted to come on and share a little bit about what I did this weekend. Had an excellent time. Went to see my buddy Richard. He's the guy that got me into everything, into all this research, biblical archaeology, all kinds of stuff, and he's always doing something. So it's been about a year, and I called him up, and he said, "Yeah, come on over." And his basement's filled with books, living room filled with books, attic filled with books, and he showed me what he was working on with his latest project. He's doing a huge study on the rise of Satanism, what it was about, and all that demonology, ideas of that, what that was all about from the Middle Ages up to current day. And he had an excellent outline. Took him 3.5 hours to explain it all to me, and it was excellent. 4 or 5 big binders of different movies from all those time periods of fiction and horror films with the idea of Satanism mixed up in it, and it's excellent. So what he's finding is a lot of that started with the battle between the Protestant groups and also their battles with the Catholic Church, and also battles between the Catholic Church among itself. Uh, you had people constantly demonizing people, false confessions happening about rituals, and basically con artists would talk to just save their own necks. And then later, those confessions would be used as source material for research being done on such topics and passed off as being reliable and true. However, when you go back and look at it, it's kind of shady. So what happened was secular society grabbed that stuff and started mixing it in with horror flicks and horror films and horror books. And secular society rolled in it. They loved it. So he has tons of that stuff. And it was truly amazing to see. And also, it's truly amazing to see how everything is recycled. When your enemy changes, the same tactics are brought out. And also, he is writing down the reprints of all those books that came out. Uh, and when you think about what was going on at the time period of those reprints, that's pretty interesting too. So he got into a little bit about the modern day ideas of it, also the occult being mixed in with secular society, like road signs, social security numbers, and he went back to the source material and found that. It's excellent, and like I say, a lot of that came out of fiction novels and things. So it was just excellent, and it blew my mind. So he's got another 2 years to work on it. He says he's going to try to get it in print, and he definitely has it well documented. Went back, and we had discussions about, first and second century already, the idea of, Jesus casting out demons into pigs, and what transpired from there up to the Middle Ages. But he's just doing it from the Middle Ages onward. And he sent me back home with this excellent book, The Pursuit of the Millennium. And such stuff is still going on today. And you realize the people that are worried about, the New World Order and the UN and all that kind of stuff, you don't need to worry about that. What you need to worry about is the groups that are worried about that. And they seem to be the real problem, and the ones that cause the issues. And here, Pursuit of the Millennium by Norman Cohen, written in 1957, did an excellent study. My buddy loaned me this book. It's a reprint from Barnes & Noble's. Inspired by such prophecies, the earliest movements of the poor set off on a people's crusades of processions. These often led to massacre of Jews. Later movements turned against the Christian clergy itself, as well as the rich, blending prophecy with the teachings of various anarchist sects. By the close of the Middle Ages, Professor Cohen shows certain groups were planned to exterminate the wealthy in preparation for the second coming of Christ, and to oppose an anarchist, communistic order on the whole world. Excellent. So basically, whoever you want to demonize and make up stories about, your targets change. Right now, dealing with war on Islam, you see a lot of scare tactics coming in with that. And so what I see is the whole thing being a lot of baloney. and you realize the shaky foundations that that whole movement, the whole Satanist movement, gonna make a lot of enemies here, I don't care, is based on really shaky foundations, and so that's why I'm not scared at all about any of that. You know, people are like, oh, demons, you know, people looking under the beds and stuff. Nah, forget it. Because if you read some of the material, you go back and actually research it and see where some of the stuff originated from, you're not going to worry about it at all. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully, when his book comes out, I'll definitely bring it on here because uh, it's going to be an important study, and I haven't read anything like that that goes into that much depth, where the guy is actually collecting movies when he can find them, the books when he can find them, even modern day stuff like chick tracks. And I'll post one person down and below. I can't remember his name, uh, who contributed a lot of those ideas to the evangelical movement. They couldn't get enough of it. They were rolling around in it. They would invite him to church for satanic, I mean, seminars on the occult, and he was telling them all about it before they realized that he was a fraud. So be sure to look in the link. I remember hearing tapes myself about that. Then it never stops. It never stops, and it snowballs. And so quite interesting indeed. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that, and take care. And remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.